All right. Hello, everyone. All right, let's get ready to stretch. It is a rainy, gloomy day where I am in Connecticut today. So I got my comfy, cozy sweater on, and we are going to do some light stretching. A lot of it's going to be on the floor. So we are going to be doing a lot of floor work today. So you can do these seated, of course, as well, but we are going to make our way down to the floor in just a little bit. Let me pull my There we go. All right. We are going to start with those hands and we're going to bring them all the way up. Take a nice big stretch as high as you can. Try to reach the ceiling. And I didn't share my music. Keep reaching. Get some tunes going. All right. Stretch out those arms. Bring them down and behind the back. Interlocking those fingers together, pulling the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Good. All right. Shake it out. Place those hands together in front of the chest. Match those fingers together. And then we're just going to very slightly press the palms together. And you can rotate those fingers outwards and up. You can try to go all the way down and up. One more time. Good. We're going to move it over to the left, over to the right. And from here, we're going to press them together, bring it straight up over the head, and then bring it as high up as you can, keeping those hands together. Good. Bring it down. All right, we're going to open nice and wide, so nice right angles. And we're just going to close those forearms together and open. Close. Good. And bring those arms down. All right, we are going to start with our Jefferson curls. We're going to curl it all the way down, starting with our chin. Go ahead and bring our chin down to our chest. And then let those shoulders roll forward. And then I want you to think of rolling through your spine like one vertebrae at a time. Super slow until you reach the bottom, and then you can start it all the way back up nice and slow. All right, let's do one more. Bring it down. Roll it through. Remember, we were trying to help move all that spinal fluid. Get that all throughout our spine. And roll it. All right, place that right foot in front. We're going to come into a nice high lunge position. So we're going to warm up our legs just a little bit. Just a little bit before we deep stretch them. So I'm going to have make sure both of my feet are facing forward. That back foot, make sure it's facing forward, and your front foot, make sure it's facing forward. That's going to target the stretch a little bit more in that calf back here. And you may need to adjust your positioning if you need to be a little bit higher. If you want more of a calf stretch, make sure that heel is down. And then if you want to come a little lower, lift that heel, target our hip flexor here in this stretch. And we're holding here. Feel free, hold on to a chair, a desk, something stable. But we're also telling our muscles, and it's working a little bit. Good. And then we are going to turn that foot out to the side, and we're going to open our hips towards the front and stretch this way. You can bring those arms out. You can go and do a reach. You can get all crazy with it. And then bring it straight up, and then turn both of those feet straight forward. And then the same thing, we're going to roll through, bringing those hands down to the floor if you can. Now a wider stance here is going to be a little bit more forgiving, be a little bit easier on those legs. You can also move them up a little bit more. Bring it down one more time. Roll it up. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. We are going to go into our nice high lunge position, both feet facing forward. Now this is your stretch, so if you feel like your hip flexor needs a little bit more attention, then focus it on that hip flexor. If you feel like your calves and your gastroc needs a little bit more, focus it there. If you want to focus on stretching that front knee, you can work on that. Feel free to move through your stretches too. Holding them is great, but moving through them is also great. Good, and then from here, we're going to turn and rotate those feet. That foot's gonna come towards the side. We're gonna open our hips that way. And hold here. You can bring those arms out or reach it up. Good, and then bring it up, straight legs. A little bit of that wide stance here. Bring it down. You can reach for the feet here. And we're gonna walk our hands over to the right foot. And walk it through the center. Over to the left. Good. Now we're gonna walk our feet together in the center, nice and slow. And then you're gonna bend the knees and come down to a seated position, down onto the floor. We're gonna work on a little bit of some hip mobility. But we are gonna start with our butterfly position. So feet together, knees apart. And you can scooch in whatever position feels right for you here. Sitting up nice and tall. And then we can curve the spine over. Let your head relax. And we're gonna hang out here. And you can also reach those hands out and forward if you want to deepen the stretch a little bit more. Nice deep breaths. Roll it up nice and slow. All right, we're gonna go into our pike position. So go ahead and bring those legs straight out in front of you. We're gonna start with those feet straight out, reaching for either the ankles, the toes, just to get a gauge on where your hands land, where your comfortability is. Feeling a little bit non-flexible today. I was in Disney last week and did a lot of walking. If you've ever been, you know it's like a million steps a day. So my feet and legs definitely could use some love this week. We're gonna stretch those feet down, point and flex the toes. We want to stretch the front of the ankles as much as the back of our ankles. Good, and then from here we're gonna reach one more time. This time, go ahead and place those palms up on each side of the leg. Let yourself just kind of relax. Take a few deep breaths. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. It's gonna feel like forever. Close your eyes, zone out, enjoy the stretch. It should be a comfy stretch, not a discomfort or painful stretch. So if it's a little bit too much, just go ahead and dial it back a little bit. And as you breathe and hang out in this position, you might notice some of that tension in the hamstrings might loosen up a little bit as you breathe into it. About 10 seconds. Slowly inhale up. Roll it up. Ooh. Ooh, I could have fallen asleep. All right, roll it onto your back into a little bit of a ball. Go ahead and squeeze those knees into the chest best you can. You can rock it side to side. And then we're going to pull the knees outwards towards the armpits. So we are creating more space between the legs. We're going to really target the hip flexors a lot here. You should feel like a chicken. This is one of those funny positions where things pop and crack and usually make lots of noises. So go ahead and we're going to focus the stretch on that right leg now. So pull that right knee in towards that armpit. Left leg is extended out as straight as you can get it. You should feel a stretch down that hip flexor. And you can manipulate this right leg to come outwards towards the side. And then you can pull it in and across to the left and create that nice counter stretch. Opening up that right arm out to the side. Trying to keep those shoulders as square to the ceiling as possible. This is going to look different on everybody. And now we are going to close our book. So take that right hand and we're going to close it all the way over. Meet our hands like a giant alligator. And then open it back up and rotate all the way over as far as you can. And then slowly bring that right leg back to center. And switch legs. And go ahead and grab that left knee. Pull it inwards. And then same thing, you can guide that left knee outwards first to really open up that hip a little bit more. And then cross it up and over to the right. Every time my left leg goes over, it cracks my back. Only that side though. Create that counter stretch with that left arm, open it up to the side. Both arms out, and then we're going to close our book, rolling over to the side. Take a deep breath, and then open and rotate. Bring that left knee back in, and we're gonna rock it up to a seated position best we can and come into a 90 degrees with both of those legs sitting in a stag position. And we are going to focus on that hip, and we're going to reach those hands forward over that right hip. Now, a more advanced positioning of this would be a pigeon pose, a full pigeon. So if you are flexible in those hips and you want to go for a full pigeon, you go for it. Otherwise, bring it back out. Nice big breath in, and we are going to do 4, where we bring our legs up and rotate to the side, back to the other side. The goal is to keep the toes on the floor. Let's go back to the right and then back to the left. All right, and then now our left leg is in front. We're going to reach those hands out in front and lean over that left hip. And inhale up. All right, bring those legs back out into a hamstring stretch position. Last time we're gonna do this stretch, I want you to bring it back down. Take about 15-20 seconds. Breathe into the stretch one more time. Inhale all the way up. Take a head roll in both directions. And shake it out. And I think that is all we have time for today. Oh, thank you so much for stretching with me. It is good to be back. And I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.